Hi, this is Ushio, and welcome back to Sable's Grimoire. It seems like very soon we're going to go on a hunt. We don't really know what this entails, but this is kind of what's looming in the horizon, and it's kind of putting everybody on edge, so we're going to find out if we get to go on it very soon. So yeah, we just reluctantly drag myself out of bed. As I get up, just barely in time for class. With no time to spare for breakfast or a shower, I quickly change clothes and head to the door. Shabbily dressed, in a fresh set of clothes, I hobble over to the door as I force my body to move before it's ready to do so. Stifling a yawn, I reach out for the door, with one arm limp by my side and the other reaching out in front of me. I eye the doorknob as my hand slowly grows closer to the object of my focus. Damn it, not again. Until it inevitably stops. Come on, Sable, get it together. Nothing bad's gonna happen, just open the door and get to class. In spite of the urgency I'm supposed to be feeling, not to mention my own mental scolding, I find myself unable to grasp the doorknob in my hand. Sadly, it isn't a matter of the doorknob being an inconvenient location, nor is there any problem with my arm, not physically at least. All of the problems I've been facing lately, this one included, are the result of recent changes in the atmosphere at Amadronia, and it's all thanks to the hunt. Damn it, Iron, why did you have to parade us all in front of the other students like that? I'm seriously considering staying in my room and studying by myself until the whole thing blows over. While I haven't been bullied or victimised directly, I have noticed a significant change in how others act around me lately. Ever since my fellow first years learned of my agreement to participate in the hunt, they've been actively avoiding me. Previously, I was that interesting, slightly dangerous kid who screwed up while showing off on his first day. Now I'm a human being who supposedly hunts down demi-humans for fun. Wow, stop overthinking it, Sable. They'll accept you in time, and even if they don't, it's not like you'll be completely alone. Take this one day at a time, and don't you dare revert to old habits. Desperate to avoid becoming a shut-in ever again, I force myself out of my dorm room and into the hallway. My heart is beating more quickly than it should be, and my palms are sweating, but nonetheless, I've made it. Wow, I did it. Now I just need to... Hey, Sable! Oh! I almost jump out of my skin as my reptilian friend manifests in front of me. Already on edge, Dragon's loud voice and sudden appearance startle me far more than I'd care to admit. Are you okay? I didn't scare you, did I? No, it's just that you got some major anxiety going on right now. I'll stop and catch my breath. It's nothing. Oh, okay. So, this is your room. It's a fair distance away from mine. I'd better take a note of your room number while I'm thinking about it. You really don't have to do that. I'm edgy enough as it is without a half-dragon greeting me at the door every day. Edgy? Oh, something wrong? Oh, yeah, you could say that. Honestly, ever since the principal outed me as a participant of the hunt, things have been a bit awkward for me. It's like the whole class has started to ostracise me, you know? Not really. I can't say I've noticed any change in how other people treat me. That's because they all feared you to begin with. In any case, I'm still with you, buddy. Even if those other chumps leave you behind, there's no way I'm going to abandon you. Thanks, Dragon. I appreciate that. I've already lost a couple of acquaintances over this. I'd hate to lose another. People stop being your friend because of this. They can't be very good friends then, if that's all it took. I don't know if I'd go that far. Ray seems to think that Eth will come around in time, but for the moment, she doesn't want to talk to me at all. Then there's Tix, who left Amadronia altogether. I don't mean to sound conceited, but I'm pretty sure me joining the hunt was part of the reason she left. Then there are all the other students in my class who've started to look at me with fear in their eyes. Nobody has been outright hostile yet, but at the rate things are going, I can't help but feel worried. Wow, does sound bad. What about the other two, the angry human and the elf? Norm and Leisha? I'll say they're faring pretty well. Narm's in your class, not mine, so you'd have a better idea about him than I would. As for Leisha, well, she was fairly isolated from the classmates to begin with. Maybe I should have adopted her approach as well. It would certainly have made this all much easier. Don't say that. You don't want to be like the elf. If you were, then the two of us would never become friends, right? I mean, I guess. See, even though you're feeling bummed right now, that doesn't mean you've made the wrong choice. You still got me, the elf, the angry human, and probably a whole bunch of other friends I don't know about. Don't let those dummies in your class get to you. Focus on your real friends, the ones who's going to stick with you, no matter what choices you make. A wry smile forms on my face as I take Dragon's words to heart. As strange as it is to hear those words from a half-dragon, one who's feared by other students, even more than I am, she's absolutely correct. Quality over quantity. Forget about the naysayers, and hold dear the friends who treat you well. It might sound cliche, but right now, it's exactly the kind of reassurance I need. Thanks, Dragon. I feel a bit better now. I'll keep your words in mind while I'm enduring the glares of my classmates. Any time, bud. You know I'm always here for you. Now, let's get to class. I'll walk you down. You really don't need to. I feel my heart jump once more as Dragon takes me by the hand and pulls me down the staircase. Dragon may be surprisingly good at cheering people up, but it seems she's still yet to master the art of reading their stress levels. Off to class then, let's bear it. After sitting through the first 2 classes of the day, both of which I spend separated from everyone except Leisha, I finally begin to feel at ease. Our new teacher is a significant improvement over Eris, and with proper tutelage I found myself becoming able to focus on the lesson at hand, rather than the glares of my classmates. As time goes on, their murmurs fade into the background. My mind becomes focused solely on the subject we're studying, and I spare few thoughts for their misdirected anger. Wow, halfway through the day already. Man, time really flies when you get stuck right into something. Indeed, if only we'd been graced with a proper teacher right from the beginning. Better late than never, I suppose. Yeah, you said it. I'm gonna be at a bit of a loss over the weekend though. With my roommate now gone and no classes to attend, it's gonna be difficult to get out of bed in the morning. Oh, I thought you were a light sleeper. I am, it's just, I've been having a bit of difficulty getting up lately. I got used to waking up when Tix turned on the lights or started to bathe. Lately, I've been using the necessity of attending class to motivate me, but when it comes to the weekend, you still ought to have plenty of reason to get up early tomorrow. Don't forget that tomorrow is going to be our first outing as participants in the hunt. The hushed whispers of my classmates suddenly stop as Lisa speaks those magic words. Even if Leisha and I have been doing our best to ignore our classmates, the reverse cannot be said to be true. Yeah, okay, I guess I'll have to wake up early after all. Do you require assistance in waking up? I don't mind knocking on your door on my way out. Otherwise, my father will probably be willing to call you on your terminal, if that's your preference. It's okay, I'll just set an alarm. Besides, the hard part isn't waking up, it's the getting up. Oh, so you're one to fall victim to the allures of a comfortable bed, are you? Comfort truly is the enemy of productivity. Even I have fallen into that nasty trap. You have? I find that hard to believe. I am a living, breathing creature, Sable. I do have my vices, as well as my moments of weakness. Far fewer than a human, of course. Oh, yeah, of course. Really though, our first day on the hunt is already upon us. I wonder what we're going to be doing. It's difficult to say. As first years, not to mention first timers, I suspect that we won't be asked to do anything too dangerous. And again, considering the identities of the individual participants, it's certainly a possibility. Hey, don't group me in together with the rest of you like that. I'm a researcher, not a fighter. I'll take boring repetitive tasks over dangerous ones any day, thank you. I'll lighten up. That idiotic father of mine isn't going to send us anywhere dangerous. And even if he does, all you need to do is hide behind the rest of us. We'll make sure that no harm befalls you. I know that you're teasing me, but don't think for a moment that I won't take you up on that offer. Leisha and I continue to chat about what tomorrow will bring, while our classmates eavesdrop intently. A short while later, our teacher returns to the classroom, calls in silence to consume us once more. My classmates all turn on their physical terminals, while I instead choose to invoke the spell itself, and our third lesson of the day begins. So, at least, even though some demi-humans think that we're bad, at least Leisha's talking to us, and she's an elf, so that's good, isn't it? Okay, off to the library. Following the end of my third lesson for the day, I head into the library while Leisha goes off to eat lunch. While I don't have any particular subjects in mind, there are always a number of books on my to-read list, so my trips to the library are rarely a waste of time. And of course, outside the books, there's also one person in particular whom I hope to meet. Oh, there you are, Sable. I was wondering when I'd see you again. Have you come to return one of the books you've borrowed? You're quickly approaching the time limit, you know. Oh, not this time, no. I'll bring it back on Monday, I swear. Oh, are you planning to finish a few of them off over the weekend? It feels like it's been a long time since I last had that luxury. No, it's not like that. I do plan on getting some reading done on the weekend, but... Sensing that Jolu doesn't know what this weekend marks the beginning of, I decide to be direct. The hunt, Jolu? I'm going to be busy participating in it. Oh, so it's that time already. I hadn't realised that we were already approaching that junction once more. You should have. You're going yourself, you know. I might be participating by choice, but as a third year, you don't get a say in the matter. Don't remind me. Everything is about to get busy again. Where does the time go? You sure do have a lousy sense of time, don't you? When we first met, you hadn't realised that new students were coming, or that you were officially a third year. It also took you some time to remember that class mergers were coming up, and now you've even forgotten about the hunt. You really ought to get a personal planner or something, you know. Believe me, Sable, you've got no idea. It's a side effect of spending so much time underground. My sense of time is kind of a little off. Are you really spending that much time in the underground facilities? I am, but I'd rather not get into that right now. More importantly, you came here looking for a book, didn't you? If you tell me the title, I'll happily point it out to you. Sensing Jolu's obvious discomfort, I decide to drop the topic at hand and move on to the real reason for my visit. Yeah, Jolu's got some kind of weird stuff going on in the basement and we haven't found out what that is. But we'll change the subject. Actually, I came here today in the hope that I could ask you about something. You came to question me? Okay, I'll answer what I can. What can I help you with? I told Leisha that I'd leave this matter alone, but things have been a bit tense lately. Ever since the principal introduced the first years participating in the hunt, we've been kind of ostracised. I nod in confirmation. That's only to be expected. To be in a class with a hunter and a human, no less, your classmates must be beside themselves. Was it like that when you were a first year? Let me think. I'm pretty sure there were no humans in any of my classes, so it's kind of hard to say what their experiences must have been like. What about the other students who joined the hunt? Even if they weren't human, were there any hunters in your classes? I suppose there must have been at one point or another, but I don't remember any of the specifics. It was a harrowing time for me, and I cannot recall such details. And I can tell you that it does get better. Students get their initial disgust and eventually stop caring, or at least stop causing a fuss. Talking about it doesn't help. All you can do is wait for the storm to pass. Okay, it's pretty much what Leisha said. I guess she isn't the valedictorian for nothing. Grades don't do much in matters of the mind and heart. If they did, I suspect that we'd both be more charismatic and empathetic people. I'm sure there's an insult in there somewhere, and I can't say you're wrong. In any case, it sounds like I'm just going to have to sit this one out and wait for the tensions to ease. That's for the best. I can't imagine that restless demi-humans are going to be settled by the forceful words of a human being. It's not like I was ever planning on pushing them. But again, I do see your point. As much as the situation irks me, I realise that I should butt out and leave it alone. Butt out and leave it alone? Wiser words have never been spoken. You do well to preserve that resolve of yours, Sable. At an academy like this, you will no doubt face many hardships beyond your control. The hunt may bring out the worst in some, but it is by no means the only source of conflict amongst students. And as a human being, you're liable to find yourself at the centre of many heated confrontations and debates. Well, that's just great. Why did I come to an academy filled with demi-humans again? It's starting to sound like it was a poor decision. I'm sure you'll feel that way at times, but do remember that the majority of your time at Amadronia is going to get spent studying, not fighting. Even if you join the hunt, even if you don't get along with your classmates, it's your duty to study. As a student, it's your one true mission. Okay, I think we're getting a little too philosophical and preachy here. If you say that I should butt out and Leisha feels the same way, that's what I'm going to do. Really, I should have get my word to Leisha and done just as she said from the beginning. But at least I've researched this conclusion before doing anything stupid. Glad to hear it. So, now that we've finished with that topic, how about those books you need? Smiling wryly at Jolly's forced change of topic, I play along nonetheless. I don't think I owe them to you personally, but yeah, I do plan on returning them soon. I'll be finished with them by Monday, okay? As long as I find the time after this hunting business. Oh, you'll have time. You're a first year, and this is your first hunt. You'll have it easy. Jolu once again confirms Leisha's suspicions, further reinforcing my belief that I should have simply listened to Leisha in the first place. She might be arrogant and prideful, but the fact of the matter is that Leisha is usually right. Perhaps I'm not giving her enough credit. Setting those thoughts aside, I take a step back and begin to turn toward the door. Okay, I think that just about does it for me. I'm going to go grab something to eat before lunch is over. Oh, you're right, it's lunchtime. I forgot to eat. Maybe. Don't be embarrassed. I just told you that I haven't eaten myself yet. Want to come to the cafeteria with me? It should have calmed down a bit by now. Thanks for the offer, but I'd rather stay and eat here. Okay, suit yourself. In that case, I'll see you later. Oh yeah, see you later, Sable. Make sure to... I'll bring the books, okay? I won't forget. Wow, talk about a broken record. I think sometimes Jolu takes her ownership of this library just a little bit too seriously. But we are going for lunch. Feeling much better than when I first entered the library, I do exactly as I said I would and head straight to the cafeteria for lunch. Surely enough, The cafeteria has settled down by a fair bit by the time I arrive. It's still busier than I'd like, and there are certainly more people in the cafeteria than there would have been during breakfast. But compared to the rush right after the start of lunch, what awaits me is a fairly manageable number of people. Okay, I just got to get to the counter, order something pre-packaged, and then get out, all without drawing attention to myself. If I can do that, I shouldn't face any problems here. Reassuring myself that everything's going to be okay, I nervously weave through the crowds of demi-humans as I make my way to the counter. I receive a few sideways glances on the way, but nothing more. Distracted by food and conversation, my fellow first years seem to have no interest in antagonising me. Relieved by this, I purchase a single apple, turn around, and head straight for the exit. Oh no, you don't. The moment before I can make my escape, one of my few remaining friends blocks my path. Not so fast, kiddo. This exit has a toll, you see. If you want to get through here in one piece, you have to pay the price. I unconsciously look down at the apple in my hand. Are you serious? You've resorted to shaking down students for pieces of fruit. Fruit? Ray follows my gaze and analyses my meal selection. Ew, what the hell's that? It's an apple. That's not lunch. That's the kind of thing parents force their kids to eat as punishment before dessert. Where's the meat? I know you're hiding real food around here somewhere, punk. Ray, give it a rest. I don't have any more food. Wow, like I believe that. Are you seriously trying to tell me that your lunch is just a single apple? Is that a problem? Of course it is. You can't live off that, you're a grown boy. You need beef, pork, chicken, fish, equal helpings of each of the food groups. Those all belong to the same food group. Fine, throw in a couple of eggs then. I'll make sure you order enough for 2 people, okay? Off you go. Ray, in what universe did you see that actually working? Oh, come on, please, Sable, I'm begging you. I am starving here. You're always starving. It's because you waste your entire week's allowance on Monday. Maybe if you spent your money on fruit instead of meat, it would last a little bit longer. Money doesn't work that way, Sable. Neither does food. The only thing that isn't working around here is your brain. Look, just stop it already. I'm trying to keep a low profile here. Low profile? Why? Are you pretending to be a spy or something? I stare at Ray in disbelief for a moment as I try to figure out whether she's joking or not. In case you haven't realised this, I'm not exactly popular with the other students in our grade right now. Until this hunting business dies down, I'm trying to avoid drawing too much attention to myself. Alright, you did join after all, didn't you? Yeah, I remember now. Eth was totally fuming about it. I tried to talk her down, but she's still pretty mad. I think it's going to take a while before she's ready to be friends again. That bad, is it? Well, at least she didn't leave Amadronia altogether, like a certain roommate of mine. You've got the dorm room to yourself? Lucky, I'm jealous. My roommate's a total drag. She's always telling me to pick my clothes up off the floor, and to bathe every day, and to not eat while I'm in bed. It's like, who do you think you are, my mother? You know what? Not having a roommate might be a good thing after all. I do feel guilty about my possible role in Tix's departure, but if the alternative to being alone is to have a roommate like Ray, I think I'd learn to manage. Shrugging off Ray's complaints, all of which illustrate a complete lack of self-awareness on her part, I sidestep Ray and head to the exit. Hey, where are you going? You still haven't paid the toll. Without looking back, I hold out my right arm. Ray then holds both of her hands out in front of her, cupping them under my hand. Yeah, thanks for your patronage, kind. Wait a minute, that's just the core. Hey, Sable, what kind of joke is this? Oi! I quickly hurry off with the rest of my apple, which I cleanly separated from the core by performing minute cuts with magic and sliding the core out. By the time Ray had realised that she only had the core, I'm already long gone. Sorry, Ray, no food for you. Once my final class of the day has come to an end, I hastily retreat to my dorm room and lock myself in. While today hasn't been anywhere near as stressful as I'd feared, I'm relieved to be back nonetheless. Out of the public eye, free to do whatever I please without judgment, all alone in my spacious empty bedroom. Wow, it sure is quiet without Tix. I wonder if she's decided to head back home. It's also possible that she went to another academy or decided to find a mate somewhere else. Given the way things ended between us, I doubt she'll be contacting me to let me know. Shrugging off a matter I no longer have any control over, I sit down at my desk and grab one of the books I borrowed from the library. No matter what disorder comes my way, I'm a student above all else, my studies take priority, and the precious resources Amadronia holds are the reason why I came here in the first place. Setting aside any thoughts about what tomorrow's hunt's going to bring, I place the book down on my desk, open it where I left off last night, and lose myself in a world far more peaceful than my own. Having reached an agreement regarding Bartholomew's protection, as well as Iron's compensation, the two depart from the elven village, more into the history. Together they trek through the forests surrounding the village, passing borders which the elf has forbidden his own kin from crossing. For many days they travel like this, sleeping in the forest, hunting for food, and using magic to light their path. After many nights under the stars, the two finally begin to see signs of human settlement. Man-made traps, artificial lights, houses made partially of stone, and even primitive vehicles. It's not a particularly wealthy village, but it's undoubtedly one run by humans. This is your village? The way you were talking about mankind's advancements, I was kind of expecting something a bit more impressive. No sir, that village over yonder is not mine. However, I do know the way home from here. If we continue on foot, it should take 3 more days. Another 3 days? That should not pose a problem. I can keep walking for another 3 days if you can. No, I said if we continue on foot. But if you don't mind, I was hoping that we could take this chance to rent a horse and carriage, or even perhaps an automobile, if any can be found in this town. An automobile? You used that word once before. What manner of creature is an automobile exactly? Is it similar to a horse or an ox? Not quite. An automobile is no animal, but it's a machine made by modern man. The very kind of technological advancement I warned you about. So, it's a mechanical horse. I wouldn't say that. They're both used for transport, but the two are by no means equivalent. Then what is this? How does it operate? Okay, the principles are simple enough, but explaining them to someone who lives without relying on man-made technology might be a bit difficult. Let me see if I can find one. It's going to be quicker just to show you. Bartholomew tells Iron to wait by the edge of the forest, away from human eyes. He claims that the villagers might get spooked if they see an elf wandering around, so it would be better for Iron to remain hidden until Bartholomew has secured a vehicle. Iron does as Bartholomew asks. He just waits outside of the village unseen, waiting patiently for his travelling companion to return. And when he does, Iron is not so sure that the wait was worthwhile. What is this? Stop this blasted contraption at once. We're going to run straight into... Oh, calm down. What good is an automobile if it cannot outrun a horse? I get it, your technology is fast. Now let me off before it bucks us off and tramples us. I told you already, it's not a horse. It's not going to buck or trample or do anything that I don't tell it to. This is the pinnacle of modern technology, a vehicle which requires no rest and possesses no will of its own. Horses be damned, this is what the future's about. Iron continues to desperately cling to the man-made means of transportation as it rocks from side to side. The limit of its speed has been reached, and its stability has been compromised. If Bartholomew isn't careful, the machine really will throw off its passengers. This is outrageous. How long have you all possessed these blasted contraptions? I told you, didn't I? Humans are weak, and we know it. That's why we keep on looking toward the future, carving out a path forward by any means necessary. It's something that naturally strong, prideful races like yours will never be able to fully understand. The vehicle jumps up and down as it speeds along the dirt road in front of it. To Iron, it feels as though he's riding a bucking horse, albeit one with supernatural strength and agility. But for all of the exhilaration and joy the ride brings him, there's still one other, more powerful feeling which overshadows all else. Fear. On what would ordinarily be the rest of the day, I find myself outside in the academy courtyard, bright and early. Okay, it's the next day. Still yawning, I rub my eyes lethargically as other students gradually come to join me. By the time the cafeteria is ready to open, the courtyard has grown lively. There are small groups of students littered all around, chatting happily as they look forward to what's about to begin. How surprising, I didn't expect to see you here so early, Sable. I'm too excited to sleep. I turn around as a large, rough hand pats my shoulder. Standing before me is Nam, one of the few first-year students participating in the hunt. As if I'm barely even awake. Why do we have to get up so early? Surely we're not going to leave without eating breakfast. I assume that's exactly why we're leaving at this time. The other students are tired and thinking only of their stomachs. In that state, they don't have the energy to foolishly protest our march. That's not a bad idea, actually. Though the trade-off is that it means that we are tired and hungry. Speak for yourself, I for one have never felt better. Just think of what awaits us, two humans fighting side by side, teaching those lawless deviants the meaning of justice. This guy is a prick. If you're already calling the ones we're supposed to protect lawless deviants, then perhaps you ought to leave this to more suitable parties. This is a matter for demi-humans after all, you best leave it to us. and allow you naive idealists to go soft on those who would do us harm? It's not going to happen. I intend to deal with any wrongdoers as I see fit. Your personal feelings on the matter are irrelevant. My second companion, the fellow first-year hunter, arrives just in time to berate Nam for his somewhat dangerous views. Wide awake, despite the early hour of the morning, Lisha wastes no time before picking a fight with Nam. Worry not, human. No party containing yours truly will ever fall into the face of danger. In fact, you best leave the fighting to me. I'd hate to see that brittle body of yours torn to pieces by a member of a superior race. Big talk for a walking stick figure. You elves might have a knack for magic, but when it comes to physical confrontations, you might as well play dead. Wow, is this really necessary? We're all on the same team. That's right, teammates shouldn't be fighting one another. We're all here to have fun, so stop bickering and give me a smile. My ears prick up as I hear a familiar voice pipe up from behind me. As I turn around, I see Dragon, the fourth and final first year, participating in the hunt. Oh Dragon, here you are. I wasn't sure if you'd show up. You thought I'd miss a chance to spend the day off campus with my best bud? I've been waiting for this ever since you told me you were joining the hunt. Wow, is that so? Yep, this is just the opportunity I've been waiting for. Opportunity? Just what are you planning to do exactly? To see the city. Remember, you promised to take me to a human city as soon as possible. I promised nothing of the sort. All I did was tell you why I thought sneaking a dragon into a human city was a bad idea. Oh yeah, because of my appearance, right? Well, don't you worry about that. I spent these last 2 weeks practicing to make myself look even more human. When I transform, not even you are going to recognise me. Oh, that's quite a bold declaration there. I'm almost tempted to make a wager with you. But I'm going to have to refrain from doing that, at least for today. Hey, why's that? Because you're going to be far too busy to go sightseeing today, kiddos. Dragon and I both go silent as an unfamiliar figure creeps up on us. Before I can turn to face them, the person who called out a moment ago has placed herself in the middle of my fellow first years and I. Hey, nice to make your acquaintance, everybody. This is Coco. I'm Coco. I'm a 4th year student, and starting today, I'm also your instructor. Yeah. An excitable and seemingly eccentric young woman addresses my comrades and I. With her tail wagging and ears perked, the young woman continues to bounce on her heels as she speaks. More so than any of us, Coco is clearly filled with energy and raring to go. Our instructor, you say? Don't joke around. We're supposed to be guided by the principal on our first expedition. Sorry, kiddo, but the principal left me in charge of whipping you young ones into shape today. Kiddo, young one? Just how daft are you? I'm a member of the proud elven race. I've been practicing magic since before you were born. That might be so, but as far as Amadronia is concerned, I'm your senior. Besides, the principal wouldn't have put me in charge of you if he didn't think I could teach you a thing or two. You teach me? Don't make me laugh. What could you possibly teach me of all people? Oh, I don't know. Maybe something like how to kill an elf with your bare claws. Coco's playful smile is suddenly replaced by a malicious glare. She clenches her fists for a moment and then releases them, at which point her claws seem to subtly shine. If I focus, I can see ether starting to pour into Coco's claws and muscles. Coco is getting ready to pounce. There are still many things you don't know, elf. Many things. Darkness fills Coco's voice as she addresses Lisha. Sharp, strong, and now reinforced with magic, Coco's claws could easily tear through Lisha's soft flesh, and Coco knows it. If she possessed the desire to do so, Coco could kill Lisha right here and now, and none of us could do a thing to stop her. Wow, don't screw with me. I'm the valedictorian of my grade, and a proud member of the elven race. No mere wolf cub would ever dream of measuring up to one such as I. Oh, is that right? I can see why your father asked me to take good care of you. In response to Lisha's unconvincing declaration, Coco sharpens her glare. With the eyes of a hunter, Coco watches every movement Lisha makes, ready to cut Lisha to ribbons the moment she attempts to retaliate. You know, pride is great in small doses, but it really isn't going to help you in a situation like this. You've already lost, elf. Admit your defeat. A faint groan escapes Lisha's lips. Even without being able to see ether, Lisha is no doubt aware that Coco is artificially strengthening her body. Furthermore, at such close proximity, Lisha is already at a staggering disadvantage, even without Coco getting a head start. Lisha's power lies in her spellcasting, not her physical strength. In a situation like this, where her opponent could strike long before Lisha could cast a spell, she had no hope of winning. I will not... That's enough, you two. Break it up. We all widen our eyes in surprise as a familiar voice calls out to us. The tension between Coco and Lisha dissipates immediately, at which point the principal walks over to our side. I was planning on introducing all of you, but it would seem that I've arrived a little bit too late for that. Ian is a really bad person at organising stuff, it must be said. Ian glances at the faces of everyone present while wearing an unusually serious expression. After a few seconds of silence, his expression slackens slightly, and the principal exhales deeply. Well, at least you're all still alive. Instilling the fear of death in them, Coco. Yes, sir. First year students always rush in and make stupid mistakes. I decided that it would be best if I unnerved them before we started, so they wouldn't do anything rash. Oh, good plan. Though it's less effective when you explain that very plan in front of those affected. Really? You think so? Oh well, I'll just have to keep a close eye on them after all. I don't know whether to chuckle or sigh as my gaze shifts between Coco and Ian. The principal's intention is obvious. I understand exactly why he would want someone else to instruct us. Between Leisha and Nam, the principal would definitely be fighting an uphill battle. Neither one of them listens to him, and this duty of ours is too important to risk their insubordination. That being said, what I don't understand is his choice of instructor. Principal, what's the meaning of this? Why is this beast claiming to be our instructor? Wow, so this is the human you warned me about. The one who hates demi-humans, yeah? Hate might be a strong word, but do not presume to understand me, beast. I am simply wary of your kind, to an appropriate degree, I might add. I know all too well how savage and uncivilized you all are. The principal continues to shake his head as Nam speaks his mind. While his concern about our instructor no doubt differs from my own, Nam appears to be quite displeased with this turn of events. Nam, I understand that you might not see this arrangement as a good thing, but I assure you, I'm doing this because I believe it's what's best. Cockily, Coco. Coco is a veteran of this campaign. She has participated every year without fail since she started attending Amadronia. She has an exemplary record. You can learn a lot from her, far more than you would from me. Oh, I you sweet talker. Flattery isn't going to get you anywhere, you know. No sooner had the principal finished talking than the subject of his speech gives us reason to doubt his claims. Even if her physical prowess is on a completely different level than Leisha's, this girl doesn't seem to be much of a leader. Which part of that was supposed to be flattery anyway? You're not giving me much reason to believe your words. Nonetheless, I shall yield for now. Do not disappoint me, beast. It's not beast, it's Coco. Coco, 2 syllables? It's not that hard. Forget about him. That boy's approval isn't so easy to earn. Having spoken to both Ian and Leisha, Coco finally turns her gaze my way. Oh, you must be Sable. Yeah. That's me. Pleased to meet you. Likewise. Ian told me all about you, kiddo. I can't wait to see what you've got to show me. Show you? What are you talking about? My strength lies in my research skills, not my participation in practical, like real-world events and stuff. Whatever it is you're waiting to see, please temper your expectations. Wow, don't be so modest. You're good at thinking outside the box, right? That's what spell creation always comes down to. I disagree with both of those points. Spell creation is all about trial and error, observation, and working towards logical combinations of the fundamentals based on those observations. Creative thinking is how idealistic novices come up with pointless, ill-conceived. Please, Sable, stop, before you hurt some idealistic novices' feelings. Like mine, for example. I'll take a deep breath before continuing. Coco, I appreciate the vote of confidence, but I'm quite aware of my own strengths and weaknesses. So if you're counting on me to come up with creative solutions to all of the problems we encounter, don't. Oh, I see. Wow, Principal, you got such a weird bunch here. You haven't even spoken to Dragon yet? Be that as it may, they're all quite qualified in their own ways. With your tutelage, I believe they will become outstanding participants before you know it. Well, if you say so. I'm not going to give them special treatment though, even if they're your favourites. I wouldn't ask you to do something like that. By all means, work them as hard as you can. Say no more. When it comes to whipping newbies into shape, Coco's the woman for the job. Now then, for our first order of business, I'm going to split you off into pairs. We're being split up already? Yep, you got a problem with that? Oh, of course I do. This is our first expedition. Shouldn't we all stick together and follow your guidance? Yeah, it's boring though. I prefer the old trial by fire, you know. Oh, but now that I think about it, it's not possible, is it? To divide into pairs, we'd need an even number of first-year students. But we have that. We do. Oh, the elf, the demi-human hater, the narcissistic spell creator. Am I missing someone? Yes, you are. And manners, I might add. I stretch my arm toward Dragon, who responds to my gesture by stepping forward. This is Dragon, the 4th and final first-year student participating in this event. That's me. Pleased to meet ya. You're real. What? I thought I was just seeing things. A dragon. There's a dragon amongst the first years. How am I supposed to... Wait a sec. I'm in charge of commanding a dragon. You're our instructor, not our commander. Please keep that in mind when you're thinking about asking us to do something unreasonable, okay? Yeah, a dragon under my command. Okay, I've decided. I'm pairing up with the dragon. You three can just stay at the academy and study or something. That's actually not a bad proposition from my perspective. Okay, now that that's been sorted. Dragon, reveal your true self so that I can ride on your back. What? You want to ride on my back? I don't want to, I must. Yes, not gonna happen. I'm not gonna just let anybody on my back, especially not someone I've only just met. Oh, come on, don't be stingy. It's not like you lose anything by letting me ride you. Coco, you're starting to sound like a degenerate. Look, I'll pair up the dragon, okay? You stick to instructing us. Oh, but I want to ride the dragon. Hold on a minute there, Sable. I'm afraid I cannot consent to this either. If you pair up with the dragon, that leaves me with the demi-human hater. Conversely, if you pair up with him, I'll be at the mercy of this foul beast instead. No matter how I look at it, you're my only logical candidate to be my partner. Foul beast? That's not nice. You joke about burning down elven villages for fun? So what? It's not like I've ever actually done it. You're just being a fraidy elf. What was that? Okay, maybe Leisha's right. Her reasoning might be a tad off, but her conclusion was correct. These two shouldn't partner up. I would also like to lodge a complaint about the proposed pairings. Given that there are 2 humans and 2 demi-humans, should we not be divided up by race? I don't want one of those 2 wild beasts dragging me down. Being paired with another human would be my preference. He called me a beast too. Nobody here's a beast, and nobody's getting dragged down by their partner. I'm pairing up with dragon, that's final. I object. As do I. Honestly, you lot, this unnecessary bickering is one of the reasons why I didn't want to instruct your group myself. Leisha, you're partnering up with Nam. In case Coco's earlier threat didn't drive this fact home, you're hopeless in close-range combat. You need a strong partner who can defend you in case your opponent gets too close or takes you by surprise. Okay, not gonna happen though. Nam, you have the opposite problem. Your spells lack variety, and you cannot take action from a distance. You need someone with greater knowledge of spells, and the ability to use them at range, which you cannot. Sable fits that criteria too, you know. I appreciate the vote of confidence, Nam, but please don't put my spellcasting on the same level as Leisha's. If we wound up engaging in combat, I'd be killed before I could even cast a single spell. With you two paired up, that just leaves Dragon and Sable. Sable, as a weak yet resourceful human. Please stop. You don't need to point out my shortcomings too, please. I propose this pairing. I don't need convincing. Alright, sorry. And you, Dragon, do you have any complaints about being paired with Sable? As if, why would I have a problem with that? Sable's my best bud. Pairing up with him's going to be a blast. Please keep an eye on her, Sable. Okay, I was just thinking the same thing. Okay, if you lot are done chatting, then your glorious leader is about to get things rolling. As this is your first campaign, we'll be starting off with something simple and routine, namely, patrolling the city. You're joking, right? You're giving us grunt work because it's our first day. Precisely, yes. But hey, grunt work or not, someone's got to do it. Sable, did you hear that? I was right. We really are going to the city. Yeah, looks that way. Even so, we're not going to play around. We're going to be patrolling, looking out for, I don't know, crime or something. Actually, you two won't be entering the city at all. What? But you just said. You're travelling to the city, but you're not entering it? Group 1. Coco points to Leisha and Nam. You two will be patrolling inside the city. Your job is to look out for any suspicious activity and listen for rumours about monster sightings. Monster sightings? Are you suggesting that a demi-human's loose inside the human city? You really don't have a good opinion of us, do you? Not all monsters are necessarily demi-humans. A lot of humans do consider us to be monsters, but there are far worse things out here than demi-humans, says the demi-human. Group 2. Coco turns away from the one provoking her and looks straight at my partner and I. Still mad at her brief conversation with Nam, Coco glares at the other human being present without even the hint of playfulness. Thanks a lot, Nam. As I stated a moment ago, you're not going to the city. Instead, you're going to be patrolling the forests surrounding the city. For the monster? That's right. It's a human's job to kill monsters, isn't it? I'm not Nam, damn it, stop glaring at me. Monster hunting? It's been a while since I last went hunting. I wonder what it could be. Who knows, it's probably just a rumour anyway. Oh, this is no mere rumour, I assure you. There have been far too many sightings for that to be the case, not to mention the trail it left behind. A trail, as in footprints? Nope, droppings. Feces? Our job is to look for shit. Yep, until you find the monster, that is. Examine the feces carefully, and you should be able to determine what it is that we're dealing with. Also, judging by the warmth, direction, and scarcity, I cover my face with my hands and groan in disbelief. I'm a participant in the hunt, the infamous campaign feared by demi-humans around the entire country, and my first mission is to look at shit. Wow, it's kind of a joke. It's probably just a wild animal that got too close to the city. Why the hell are we being sent out there? Isn't there some kind of animal control service within the city? Tracking animal poop, huh? This really will be like going hunting. You've done it before? Yeah, haven't you? Of course not. I'm a sheltered city boy who spends as much time as possible indoors. In that case, leave the tracking to me. I'll sniff out that monster in no time. I turn back toward Coco, who's still talking. And that's why we start by tracking the droppings. Any questions? Yeah, I've got one. Oh, of course you do. What is it? Do you have any problems with my explanation? No, I couldn't care less about your unsanitary investigative habits. What I want to know is how we're going to be travelling to and from. Oh right, it's your first time. Don't worry, you don't need to walk the entire distance. A bus service is provided to the Academy for missions involving locations reachable by conventional roads. Since you're going to the city this time, that naturally includes you guys. Okay, what about when we're sent to more remote or difficult to access locations? Are we going to be required to figure it out for ourselves? Yeah, pretty much. It really depends on where you're going and what you're doing. If at least part of the trip can be covered by traditional transportation, you will be expected to use it. When it comes to traversing things like mountains and forests, you're on your own. That sounds like a pretty hands-off approach, considering that the Academy makes it mandatory for students in higher grades to participate. It's not that big of a deal, we're all capable of taking care of ourselves. Besides, you're first-year students, so you won't be sent anywhere dangerous or remote. Most of your outings will probably require you to go no further than a city or two away. Okay, what's the plan for today then? Catch a bus to the city, wander around aimlessly, and then catch the same bus back to the Academy. That's certainly the way it sounds, minus the aimlessness. I already explained what you'll be doing once you reach the city. Yeah, but then you started prattling on about unrelated matters, and I forgot what you said. Seriously? He's just revving you up, Coco. Don't take what he says so seriously. So, what about us? Are we going to get dropped off just outside? That's it. And when we've finished what we're doing in the city, we'll pick you up on the way back. How are you going to know where we are? If we're talking about the forest outside the city, it's pretty expansive. You can use terminal, right? Or at least that's what the principal told me. I'll call you when we're about to leave. At that point, you'll find your way back to the road and wait for the bus to arrive. Now, any more questions? Coco looks from side to side, glancing at each of it in turn. After confirming that we've got nothing more to add, Coco smiles and puffs out her chest. Excellent, in that case, let's get going. Say goodbye to the safety of the Academy, folks, because today you're going to be fending for yourselves on the brink of human civilization. Okay, we are off, and we're going to check this out in the next episode. This is Usho signing off, and hopefully I will see you next time.